Good evening and welcome to this final round, round 13, races 23 and 24 if I'm not entirely mistaken, of HSO's British Touring Car Championship 1996 season, where we have come to Brands Hatch Indy, which, as I said, is the final round of the championship. And currently there are a few less people than usually are for this event, which is somewhat understandable with it being the last round of the championship. Usually people drop off at a much earlier rate than what's been here, but I noticed that just before I started the broadcast here, a few more joined, so hopefully we'll have a decent grid even with it being the final round. But anyway, looking at the championship, which was secured in both in the independents 2 rounds ago, we can see that Dave Simmons driving the I believe Mint. Sorry, that's not the Mint Motorsport, is it? The Vauxhall Cavalier in the Independent Championship, and he won that 2 rounds ago, and still sits on 253 points. Last round out, he drove for the Works Vauxhall team in the round at Donington Grand Prix circuit. He scored, I believe, 10 points in total. I think he finished 6th and 5th, or 4th and 6th, something like that. And he said the Vectra was a somewhat difficult car to drive. Ivan Anderson climbed to 2nd in the championship in his Toyota Carina, and he sits on 181 points. And Honza Mild was passed by the Norwegian in the last round. And Mild himself is driving the Team Dynamics Ford Mondeo, and he has amassed 177 points. Mick Chapman drives the second Team Dynamics Ford, and he leapfrogged David Saber in the last round, and Chapman lies on 72 points, and David Saber in the Mint Motorsport Vauxhall Cavalier sits 5th on 161 points. So as we can see, it's 20 points between Anderson in 2nd and Saber in 5th. And if either of them have good rounds, there can be quite a few position changes. But very early on, Dave Simmons secured the championship, so congratulations to him. He won't be driving tonight as he's on holiday, but hopefully he's having a great time wherever he is. I'm not entirely sure where he went for his holiday, even though he's a friend of mine. In the overall championship, Peter Blom secured the championship last time out, I believe it was, and he drives the Honda Accord and sits on 274 points. Richard Coxon, I'm not sure is driving tonight, because I noticed that Grant Riddle is sitting in that Renault Laguna at the moment. But Coxon lies 2nd in the championship on 223 points. The German Jundt driving Frank Bieler's Audi is 3rd on 196 points. And Grégoire Goissin, who unfortunately hasn't been driving with us for quite a few rounds now, I believe due to real life situations going on, but he amassed 147 points in, I believe, 6 or 7 rounds. And Jakob Fredriksson, I believe, won't be driving with us tonight, but he lies 5th in the championship on 129 points. And looking further down the championship standings, we have Richard Wilkes in the 2nd Honda Accord on 117 points, and he is in with a real chance of leapfrogging up into 5th position in the championship if he has a good couple of races here tonight. Matthias Weber lies 7th on 72 points. And 8th is David Yates, driving the... he was driving, I should say, the Nissan Primera. He drove 4 or 5 rounds, I believe, but due to work picking up in pace as he does lawn mowing and that kind of stuff, with it being summer, he haven't quite had the time to commit to this championship post the world getting greener as such. But he lies 8th. 9th is Yves Placet, driving the BMW 320i Super Touring car, and I believe that he will be here tonight. I haven't seen or heard anything different. And he too is on 59 points. And Ray Ridal, in the second of the Renault Lagunas, he was driving a BMW earlier in the season, sits on 50 points. But Ray and Peter Lavach changed positions, and that is why Ray is now driving the Renault. But anyway, with that, let's jump to the track where we can see one of the Mint Motorsport cars flying by. I believe that will have been David Saber. Here comes one of the Audis, and here comes, I believe that would be Ray Ridal. Oh, we can see that Renault number 4, so that's Ray having, no sorry, that's Grant having a bit of a moment going through Paddock Hill. But with this being the Brands Hatch Indy circuit, we can expect close racing, disregarding if there's many or few driving tonight. Let's see, currently Peter Blom, as per usual, it has proven this season, sits first in the standings, so let's see if he will do a lap, and if he does, we'll ride on board with him, I should say. I'll just bring up the circuit map as well as we go through Clark Curve to start what I'd assume to be a qualifying practice lap. As it goes down the Brabham Straight, the start-finish line being passed now, heading into Paddock Hill Bend. Oh, very sideways, lost the rear end on the entry, still a good run. Pilgrim's Rise here leading into Druids, this long right-hander. Now down into Graham Hill Bend. Pretty good run down the Cooper Straight, this curved little straight here. And now Surtees is this little left-right chicane-like thing. And back into Clark Curve we go. The lap times is around 50 seconds. Or thereabout in race trim. I believe they will be going a little bit quicker in qualifying. Didn't quite check out, so 47.9. Okay, so it's a bit quicker than 50 seconds, my apologies, but yeah, looking like they're going fairly quickly here. And if we're in luck, I'll be joined by David Jundt, but I'm not entirely sure because I noticed he was sitting in one of the cars a little while ago. Good evening, David.
Hi, Jonathan. Hi, everyone.
So, what is the plan? Will you be driving tonight, or is it?
I'm driving the number 22 BMW of Joachim Winkelhock.
The car earlier driven by, I believe, Alan Forster, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think it was Mikula's car.
Yes, it was, of course. Alan Forster vacated the car a couple of rounds ago, and Pascal picked it up. Pascal is another one who unfortunately can't be here tonight.
I took it because I'm preferring rear-wheel drives and I didn't want to go back to front wheels this season.
That's a understandable thing, I suppose.
Having some steering things to resolve, but working okay right now, I would say.
That's good to hear. Just need to find a bit more time by the looks of things. I noticed you were in the 50s at the moment, but maybe you're doing race pace laps while everyone else is doing qualifying.
Yeah, I'm currently not on a given setup really. I'm just on the default setting of the car right now and having to get a feel for what it does and how far you can push it before, for example, the rear end overtakes you. But it's still an interesting car too.
Yeah, that sounds like a very good plan indeed. Also, will you be chatting during the races, or will you keep a bit more of a quiet approach?
I might, as like could say, on track, first-hand experience, report right for the spectators, but it probably depends on the action.
That's a fair call, I suppose. Maybe wait a couple of laps and we'll check in and see if you're in the heat of a battle or a bit more secure.
I'm currently missing a bit beat for that, but I'm probably just waiting mostly and looking at what happens in front of me.
With it being Brands Hatch, I'd suppose even if you say that, you'll end up in a battle sooner or later.
Yes, probably. But I would say Eve is a lot faster right now, since he knows the car very well.
Yeah, he's been driving the car the whole season and
yeah,
of course knows how to set it up and what to expect of it. Especially since he also partook and drove the car last time we visited the Indy layout of this Brands Hatch venue. I believe it was round 3 of the championship, when you were still sitting in the broadcast booth before you had to take off due to first game issues, I believe, with the game not wanting to start, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's also I seem to resolve some issues, like the game having some showing me some like second X path opening, but it seemed like it was real feel. I deleted it now, so I should be able to focus on the race for real now. And I'm a bit sad that I did miss several rounds to be here and help out, co-commentate, so it's nice to be back here for the last round of the championship.
It's good to have you in the booth, so I think good luck for the qualifying, which I believe will be starting in just a couple of minutes time here. But also as a driver now in these cars on this circuit, is it difficult or is it easy? As we saw a bit of kerfuffle last time out.
Sorry?
Is it easy or difficult to drive these cars around here? As we saw, I remember we saw a few issues for different drivers last time out.
At this track, whoops. Be honest, can only speak for the rear wheel drives and only for BMW that case, I think. But this car is a bit snappy on the rear wheels, so that's probably the biggest problem, and maybe on the engine push a bit into the turns when you go too deep. So I can't really tell what the front wheel driven guys will say, since that's my forte at all. They're a bit tricky, but touring cars, well, you gotta master them in some way, and for me, to be honest, I'd rather power slide through a turn and try to keep it instead of understeering off because I push too hard. So there's a challenge both, and I'd say it's not easy to be fast. I mean, you can get up to a certain speed, but then getting the final tens, that is gonna be the biggest challenge in the touring cars, I'd say. And Brands Hatch for me, probably people will laugh and say like, oh, it's a such a short track and there's not much to it and so on, but the shorter the track, the more important is having the right line here. And if you make a tiny mistake on such a short track and all the people can get their lines perfectly, then you're losing a lot of time right now and there. So yeah, it's especially difficult here, especially even more because it's quite bumpy, which throws you off the line too, and with turn 1 you get quite a difficult turning point downwards into upwards the hill. So, I wouldn't say it's very easy here, even if the track is really short. It's not one of my favorite tracks. I'd rather have like the free layout instead of Indy, but well, it kind of divides okay from the very good drivers, you could say.
I suppose you're right. It's one of those circuits, just like, well, if you want to go the other direction, the Nordschleife, where you can learn the track fairly, somewhat easily, but mastering it is a completely different thing.
Yes. Don't forget that Nordschleife is a really long track, so
indeed, it takes it takes a longer time to learn, but the mastering bit is about the same, yeah. I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very long track, so just being on the track probably helps a lot, but yeah. Goes in another way.
Yeah. Maybe I should have said something like Knockhill instead.
Oh, Knockhill, one of my kind of favorite tracks in BTCC, even if it's quite a tight track.
Maybe tight, but it's good fun to run.
Tight, and it requires also like one line. Because if you don't, and we know that these cars here don't really feel like they like bumps very much, and it is easy like roll over. So as I hit such a whoops. Okay. Yeah, the Knockhill for me, as I said, coupled with the cars not really liking the bumpy nature of the tracks. I mean, I've seen quite a lot of rollovers or issues with it, but Knockhill has like also one line to really drive through, since there's like chicanes and such. So probably also a driver track, which requires good lines. But I always kind of like Knockhill. I don't know why.
I must say I like Knockhill as well, so that's why I mentioned the circuit. As we can see, you're reversing down the hill towards Graham Hill. That's a new line I haven't seen before.
Yeah, sorry, I've just had the wrong moment. And I'm probably gets betting out the way for people that want to do the quick laps right now.
That's probably very much right indeed. So let's see. As we can see, we have 15 guys at the moment, so it's still a pretty decent turnout for the last round of the championship. A bit unfortunate we can't have the 20 plus that we've had the whole season so far, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's a bit disappointing that so few drivers, not even T, come here to race, but well, as you said, those that come, those that don't.
Indeed. So let's see, about 20 seconds until qualifying. So yeah, looking at those who have been able to turn up for this event, I'd say Peter Blom will probably take pole once again, with him having taken all poles except for 5 or 6, of which 4 has gone to Greg Goyson. And as you can see, the last few guys heading over the line before the session will jump and we'll get into qualifying.
I thought this was qualifying already.
Oh, my apologies. This is qualifying. I do apologize. I am a little bit tired. Anyway, so we have. I wonder why is Richard Wilkes in a BMW?
Could be in a Honda, I thought.
Yeah. Well, not up to me to say if he should drive for a different team or not. But anyway, it looks like Peter Blom is... Wow, Miroslav Havlik jumped up into second in that Porsche, so he once again has a very good qualifying and hopefully he'll have a good race. But Peter Blom took pole position, and let's see if we look down the grid, we'll find David Saber in 9th taking pole position in the Total Cup. Let's see, we are looking at or discussing by the looks of things if it'll be a bit shorter warm up for this one. So we'll see what happens. Okay. So it'll be 10 minutes. And it immediately looks like it has gone a bit more cloudy than before. As we'll take a bit of a moment to ride on board with Yves Place and the other BMW and see how he handles the circuit. A bit of a tardy first lap, but it looks like Yves found a little bit of time in the last sector. That looked like a very quick Clark curve by the looks of things. Let's see, Jan Kowalski is a one-off driver for this event. I think he may have done Donington as well last time out, but he is sitting in the Volvo for this one. Stepping in the number 8, so that would have been... I should know the name, but the name eludes me, so my apologies, but it will hopefully show up sometime during the evening.
What is it about?
The number 8 Volvo. Jan Kowalski is doing a one-off in that one. I'm trying to remember the name of the guy who should be in that one. But as per usual when it comes to names.
Quite a few people have driven it over the season, I think. Don't really remember anyone. Well, I should actually too. I mean, I've just seen the raid today, so I should know who it is.
Quite so, quite so. But I'll know in a little bit.
Wasn't Latina, I think. It wasn't him.
Nah, he was in the Vauxhall, I think. No, sorry, the Vauxhall, I think he drove.
Was it? No,
But let's see.
He wasn't.
Okay, so the number 8 Volvo has been vacated. Matthew Hull is the guy I'm thinking of, but he's in the Vauxhall now. So my apologies. I thought of Matthew Hull because he drove the Volvo last time out. No, sorry, the Cavalier, but he drove the Volvo earlier in the season, I should say.
Yeah, true. I doesn't remember Hull in the same car, yeah.
Oh, so we see a bit of a incident there. So let's jump to someone else. Let's look at Simon Watman. Actually, he hasn't had that much screen time recently, so let's give him a couple of moments here. Watch him drive around as he's sitting on one of the Team Dynamics Fords. I'd assume that's Mick Chapman as we jump into the race by the looks of things. We do indeed. So, hopefully everyone will be ready and set to go for this one. But we'll know in a moment's time. Looks like everyone should be on the grid as the formation lap gets underway. You can see the field pulling away, a very neat looking field it is. But anyway, on pole is Peter Blom with second place and a first front row start of the season for Miroslav Havlik. Third for Ray Riddle in that Renault Laguna, and fourth for Jan Kowalski. Fifth is Grant Riddle, Ray Riddle's son, and fifth for Jan Titz, so he had a bit of a lackluster qualifying session. Sixth for Yves Placé, with seventh for Philippe Martinelli, so he had a good qualifying session compared to what he's had earlier in the season. David Saber 9th and 10th for Matthias Weber, 11th for Eivind Andersen with 12th for Juha Boos, 13th for David Jundt and 14th for Mick Chapman, 15th for Simon Watman, and 16th and last for Richard Wilkes. So let's see, the lights is on. The light is out and away we go. And a lot of wheel spin for Peter there. Jan Titz has a fantastic start in that Audi of his. Let's see, storming into turn 1. Peter Blom in the lead, Jan Titz second, Havlik slips down to third. It looks like everyone has survived the opening turn at least. Oh, a bit of a side-by-side contact right there between the privateer cars. But it looks like again everyone survives, but Jan Titz and Peter Blom is side by side for the lead. But Peter should have the inside here and should be able to hold on to the lead. Oh, but he gets very sideways there, but survives. Havlik is now down to fourth, so Yves Placé has gotten by him. You see everyone streaming past the start-finish line. Looks like Øyvind Andersen has taken the lead in the Privateer Cup. As Yves Placé runs wide. Yves Placé is off the track. He may have had a bit of help looking at how he flashed his lights then, but we'll have a quick look, see what happened.
Rate all off.
Let's see, they just come. Yeah, I think Yves Placé had a bit of a nudge from Havlik then.
Rate all went off in the Renault.
And let's see, Ray Ridal is off. There he is, number 2. So let's see if we can see what happened to him. Let's see, side by side for oh dearie me, went up on 2 wheels after hitting the curb. Good thing he didn't roll, and everyone did a good job avoiding him. So that's good to see. I believe that's David Saber down there, having a bit of a moment with Martinelli and Jundt. Anyway, everyone getting through. Yves Placé, I believe that was having a bit of a twitch. Could have been Richard Wilkes as well. But yeah, it looks like everyone more or less survives, as we have a more side-by-side action between Grant Ridal and Miroslav Havlik. Peter Blom is streaking away in the lead. Titz second, Havlik third, Ridal fourth, Kowalski fifth. And the rest streaming past. As we have one of the Vauxhalls here, 2024, that's David Saber, as he had another drive-through. Oh, he has to stop in. Either he has damage or he has to. No, he must have had damage or something. He's changing tires. Wow. When Matthias Weber has had a moment, presumably a roll or a half roll, he has had a bit of trouble with the Nissan in that regard. So that's Øyvind Andersen in secure lead in the total cup, and here we can see Yves Placé fighting with Juha Boos, trying to regain the positions he lost going wide and off the track. It looks like he will go past Juha Boos here. Yep, he goes up the inside, coming through Clark Curve and secured it. Oh, nice save by Juha Boos there. Broke on the grass going into Druids. That was a close call. But you are having a nice run so far, sitting in, I believe that would be 7th or possibly 8th place. And trying hard, as we can see. And David Jundt sitting, actually looking like he's catching up to Jan Kowalski at the moment, so that could be a fight to watch in a few laps' time. Havlik and Ridal has concluded their battling for the time being, with Ridal, son Ridal, sitting ahead. And Peter Blom still having a field day, but looks to things a big lead to Jan Titz. Himself has a big gap down to third and Grant. You can see right here is a bit of a battle to watch. That's Richard Wilkes, looking like he's trying his hand at driving another car, which is perfectly fine. Driving the BMW, and Ray sitting right behind him, and Øyvind just up ahead, and then it's Philippe Martinelli up ahead of Andersen. As Andersen gets sideways through paddock, could open up a bit of a chance for Wilkes going up the inside of Druids, and he does. A slight bit of contact. A bit of a nudge from Andersen coming out, I believe, but both of them were able to survive. But here goes Wilkes going wide at the Graham Hill bend. Now even looking up the inside, going through Surtees. A bit of contact. That's not good for the rear-wheel drive BMW. And Øyvind does the cutback going onto the start-finish straight and muscles his way by. Nice, somewhat rough pass from Maven there. He
Third one.
was Grant Riddle is off by the sound of things. Oh, here he is. When he loses a lot of time and a lot of positions here. Oh, trying to get out of the way, very sportingly done there. And I even lost out in the opening turn as well. Looks like Grant may be retiring the car. He does indeed. He must have had a massive off. Let's see, going into turn 1, where he takes a bit too tight an entry and slams into the barriers. That's very unfortunate, but it is what can happen. And David Saber is out of the race as well. So that leaves Havlik in 3rd and a big gap down to Kowalski in 4th, with Jundt still 5th and ever so slightly closing on him. And Yves Placé making his way up to the bumper of Jundt as well.
Yeah, he's faster than me. I can see his pace. I can see that Kowalski has his lights on, which I don't really understand.
Well, it is a bit darker than it was in practice, so it could be that. But at least the brake lights are still easy to make out, so...
Yeah, I'm just taking it easy, and I'm probably not very sure if I really want to fight Yves in the same team if he comes close. Since he's got a better setup and everything.
Playing the team game, are you? And that's perfect. That's perfectly fine and understandable. So let's see, Ray actually lost out in that exchange as well by the looks of things, but he has gotten by Richard Wilkes. And Ivan Anderson has dropped to 2nd in privateer class as Mick Chapman has slipped by. And then we have Matthias Weber trying to make his way up as well. And then we have Simon Wattman trying to hook onto the back of the grid here. Whereas Ray Riddle runs wide, and that opens up for Richard Wilkes to go by out of Druids. One side by side between Martinelli and Bose, as Bose goes very quick into Surtees. Not sure he should retain that position, but either way. Looks like the whole field is unfortunately fairly spread out here. Except for this battle between Weber, Anderson and Chapman. Anderson running very deep, going into Paddock Hill. A lot of understeer.
Having a nice view on it when I exit at Roots Bend.
And that's Matthias Weber passed. Let's see if we can make our way up to... Oh, there we are. Oh, Kowalski running wide, going through Clark.
Public is dropping back, he's lost 2 seconds.
Presumably he had a moment over there as well. Always
Kowalski's very unstable.
looks like this will be a very nice little fight to watch in a few more laps time. Cannot say now. Always Ray Riddle and Richard Wilkes, I believe, will have made contact in Druids. But Ray drops back and gives back the position.
Well,
so that's the closest. Oh, as Juha Bors goes. Oh, Juha Bors has rolled over. And Felipe Martinelli does his best to avoid him.
Kowalski just kinda shut the door on me.
Oh, that's
Just wanted to say hello.
oh, that's a lot of damage to Juha Bors' car. Apologies for cutting you off. So that's Juha Bors down to the last position running as we jump back up here. Also Kowalski ran wide by the looks of things, and that... Let's see, we can see him going into Paddock Hill, again looking to go very deep. Very, very deep indeed, out onto the... almost out onto the gravel. And Yves goes up the inside, and David Jundt follows him through. Very neat team pass there for the two BMW drivers. We can see that Jan Kowalski is right behind David Jundt now, looking around outside. Actually still has a bit of an overlap here. But he loses a bit of time out on the AstroTurf. One runs very wide coming out the Druids. We'll see what's going on back here.
I can already say my gear set's not correct. I cannot use 6th gear.
Ooh.
I'm using only 5. But the way the gears are working is the fact that I don't need to shift too much at the wrong places. Oh, we've got Martinelli. Stationary on start finish.
It looks like there were a massive situation right here. Let's see. We can see what transpired because Philippe Martinelli. We got a bit of a we got a nudge from. Oh dear me! So it looks like Wilkes and Riddle will have made contact, and that nudged them in, sent them into Philippe Martinelli, who then was collected by Mick Chapman, who had nowhere to go. And Matthias Weber was involved as well. I think he may have been able to avoid it all. Ivan Andersen slipped through, as did a few others, and Ivan Andersen slipped up into the lead of the privateer class. And then there were more stuff going on in Surtees, as Juha Boos went wide and sideways and all kinds of things, and Richard Wilkes backing off, so it looks like he wants to give the position back to Philippe Martinelli if it would have been possible, but I believe Philippe will have stopped on the side of the road to let people by. But Peter Blom still holding a massive lead in this race of 6.3 seconds, with about half the race done by now. Will be, I think, 2 more laps before we are halfway. Oh, we can see a BMW sideways here. That is number 21. That's Richard Wilkes, having spun at Paddock Hill, but getting going again now. And that's the Peugeot of Miroslav Havlik. And then it's Yves Placé, followed by David Jundt. Jan Kowalski still in reasonably close contention there. Matthias Weber has gotten up into 7th position. And then it's 8th for Simon Wattman, who has slipped up into the lead of the privateer class. Where is Ivan Andersen? Ivan Andersen has had a moment somewhere. He has lost a lot of time.
Oh, we've got a spin. Oh, Wilkes, it's Wilkes again, and Havlik had to take evasive action.
Oh, and Jan Kowalski is off.
Third here.
Dear me, that's unfortunate. Let's see, Richard Wilkes probably has some, must have had some damage. Yeah, just loses the rear end. So spins right in front. Yeah, I'm trying to see. He must have made a mistake in. Let's see if we can get to him here. We will be a bit further back, of course. There he is. So let's see. Gets through first part of Surtees, hits the curve on the right hand at Surtees, loses the rear end, slides across the grass and into the barriers on the outside. Very similar to what happened to Will Hoy in the, I believe, 1993 race when he drove for Toyota, where he completely locked up, and Joachim Winkelhock had a similar moment in 93, I believe. Yeah, that's very unfortunate, but it is what can happen sometimes.
I thought he had disconnected because it was so quickly. Because I had to focus on Wilkes and Havlik taking evasive action. And we have now a battle for third. More or less, I think Havlik is having issues with his front tires, I would say. Maybe they start wearing out now.
Definitely not impossible. I know Peter Blom was complaining about tire issues when we were here the last time. So it is very easy to heat up the tires around here if you drive it too hard or doesn't have the correct setup. And that would be a big boon for Yves Placé to score a third position on his in this final round first heat.
Oh dear. Oh, big. Oh, there's a big lag spike. Cars disappeared for a sec.
That's a scary
Maybe it's
moment, but nothing
maybe it
that
was
we
also
could see.
me. Now it's better. Maybe it was my reflection, but there's a big lag spike.
Yep. Well, still running, so all is good, I'd say.
Yeah, I thought I was got a connection as well. I can also say from my view as rear-wheel driver that I'm also fighting tire ways to lead left side. I didn't adjust them so the car is having a bit of issues on the left side.
Okay. Well, if you are having trouble with the rear-wheel drive, surely the front-wheel drive cars would have even more trouble holding on to their tires.
Well, we'll see. It's still nearly double same left.
Yeah, that's true.
I'd say turn 1 is the tricks. Gotta be careful right on the dot or you're gonna under off.
That's very true indeed. There and through 30s, the left-right before the last turn. As we could see for Jan Kowalski. It's very... and for a few others, of course, you have both among them. It's very easy to make just a tiny mistake there and lose out a lot. We can see here a bit of a battle brewing now between Wattman and Schottman. That's a tongue twister or whatever you want to call it, but the Swede and the Brit fighting. I believe Mick is an Englishman, but don't quote me on that. So let's simply call him a Brit to avoid a troublesome situation in case he isn't an Englishman. With Brexit and all of that going on. It looks like Schottman is just a little bit quicker even with his damaged car. Simon, of course, is a very fair driver and also a driver that usually turns up with minimal practice, as he doesn't quite have the time to practice. But clearly enjoying himself and looks to have a lot of fun. You can see that Mick Schottman is a lot faster in the 30s and Clark. I believe he may even have an overlap here. He does indeed. Looks up the insides. Wattman leaves him room. And that's Mick up into the lead of the Privateer class for the time being. Simon has a small look up the inside but doesn't go for it. And Eivind Andersen is closing up as well. This could be a neat little fight towards the end of the race, if they can all stay together, since it's somewhat easy to make mistakes. As we can see Mick Schottman running wide at Clark. This should open up for a bit of an opportunity for Simon. Well, it looks like that Team Dynamics Ford pulls quite well in a straight line, at least compared to that Cavalier. Wattman looks for a good exit out of Paddock Hill, but wasn't able to get a good enough exit. You can see now that Eivind has almost caught up to the two other guys ahead. let's see what happens in the next few laps, and I'll also try to have a bit of an eye on the battle between David and Miroslav, in case that heats up again.
Closing in, yeah.
We can see in this privateer battle that Mick looks to be the fastest of the group. Right now, Ivan struggling a little bit. Oh, as Mick runs wide at Clark again. I wonder if Ivan may have a slightly damaged car. And that's the leader going by, so Peter Blom is lapping some of the field now. Oh, as Ivan goes very sideways. Oh, he's off into the gravel, into the barriers. Oh, dearie me. He tried to make it easier for Peter Blom to go by, but made himself go sideways and off the track, unfortunately.
Oh dear.
But thankfully he is able to continue, hopefully with little to no damage, but we'll see in a bit's time, as Juha Boos has a bit of a moment going through Graham Hill Bend with his heavily damaged Ford Mondeo. His mechanics will have quite a bit of work to do to get that car up to speed again. When here we can see, I believe there may even have been a touch here between David and Miroslav, but Miroslav stays ahead, so all is good either way, with 9 laps left to run. Oh, dearie me! Oh ho! Yeah, that's the rear wheel drive for you. Once you go sideways, you go.
Drifting.
That's Ivan Anderson slipping by, although he is a lap behind, but
yeah, I have a good gap.
yeah, I believe Matthias Weber must have had another moment somewhere, because he's very far behind you compared to where he was a few laps ago, but that eases off the pressure from Miroslav, so...
I got a bit caught out by Miroslav, I think he's earlier than usual.
Possibly.
Right,
sorry,
close
go ahead.
into the turn.
Well, he may have felt that the tires was dropping off more than... a lot more than they had in the previous laps, and decided to take it a bit easier. That's an unfortunate situation.
That my left side tires are wearing out now.
That's a very unfortunate.
They are a bit overheating, so I'm losing grip.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's a very unfortunate situation, but still was a neat little battle for the while it lasted, and there's still a few laps to go, so anything can still happen.
Tit's dropping back, it's just 2 seconds ahead of Eve, so maybe something's gonna happen.
It is possible. Eves has to get by Juha Boos though, lap him to be behind Jan on the track. It's definitely possible, because we know that Jan Tits has struggled with his tires earlier in the season, and with this track eating a lot of left side tires, it isn't impossible that he has a lot of tire wear this time around as well. And that's Yves Blaser getting by Juha Boos, so he's now right behind Jan on track. So looks like Simon has dropped back quite a bit from Mick Chapman now. Neuvind of course went off the track, unfortunately, so he is quite a bit behind, but otherwise it looks like a status quo, so it is this battle, or possible battle I should say, between Placé and Tits that could arise in the last few laps. Otherwise, there needs to be a mistake or crash for someone for other position changes to occur. Definitely it looks like he's closing, but I don't think he is closing quite enough to be able to get up and past Jan in this race. Although there is a left car, I noticed that Simon Wattman's Vauxhall up ahead, so that could create an opportunity for Yves. Let's see, we have 3 laps to go, I believe, in this race.
I've gained like 2 seconds on Half-Lick, it's not enough.
At least that's promising for the second race though. As Yves has a big moment going through Druids. Was able to hold on to the car because it is such a slow corner. It looks like Jan is being held up just a little bit by Simon at the moment. But 30s isn't an easy place to let anyone by. But now Jan goes up the inside, going down Bramham Straight. And with 2 laps to go, I don't think Yves is close enough at the moment to have an opportunity at Jan. There we can see Simon very sportingly lets Yves go by. Well, I believe this would be the last lap. So let's see if we can find Peter Blom. He has led from start to finish in this race, and unless something happens in the last half of it, he will win another race in this championship, which I suppose he will be happy with, even with the grid being a bit smaller than earlier in the season. But he comes towards the line and he flashes his lights, so this is the finish, and he takes another win in the championship. Jan Tits looks to be holding on to second here, finishes second in this race, and Yves Placés finishes third, so he'll be happy with that, I'm pretty sure. Fourth for Miroslav Havlik, so I suppose he'll be somewhat happy with that, even though he could have finished a bit higher up. Here comes David Jundt to finish fifth, so I believe he will be fairly happy with that, David.
Yes, I am, because according to the statistics, with this 5th place, this will be my 100th top 5 result, so quite a milestone.
It is indeed. Here comes Matthias Weber to finish 6th in this race, and 7th will be Mick Chapman, who will also win the Privateer Cup. Oh, he has already crossed the finish line, but it looks he has. So Mick Chapman finishes 7th and wins the total cup race for this one. 8th and 2nd in total cup will be Simon Waltman. 10th, I believe this is. Sorry, 9th for Johan Boos. And 10th for Evan Anderson, finishing 3rd in the total cup. 11th for Richard Wilkes. And 12th for Philippe Martinelli. I believe he will have been our last runner. Because Jan Kowalski retired. And so did Grant Riddle, Grant Riddle, and David Saber. But anyway, we are joined now, I believe, by Peter Blom. We are indeed. Good evening, Peter. And congratulations on another win.
Yeah, evening. It was a slightly boring race for me. Jan made a great start. He came all down from 6th to... He almost took the lead from me, from 6th position. And there was a bit of a fight after that. There was no run away from him. It's a shame Richard Coxon is not here. Otherwise, I think we would have a great fight there.
Well, it is what it is. With it being the final round, it's somewhat understandable that there are a slightly smaller grid. As I said at the start of the broadcast, usually there is a bigger drop-off in attendance earlier in the championship than it's been here in the BTCC. So it's good to see that everyone has stuck with it up until at least the second to last round.
Yeah.
But it also looked like you didn't quite have qualifying to all your own, because Havlik was just over a 10th behind you, and I believe Ray Riddle wasn't that far behind either.
I checked the lap times and they were just very quick on a single lap. In the qualifying I broke my lap record of the previous race I saw, so they were just very quick. That's why they were so close.
Well, it's good to hear
I think
that
the race is a totally different matter. You know, you have to be quick every lap, not only one lap.
That is a very, very true statement indeed, and you have clearly proven here that you are the quickest in race trip. So maybe you could do something like start from the back or something, just to give us some more battles to watch.
I'm going all the way to the last heat. If people want to win a race, they should fight for it.
No, that's true. Just joking a little bit with you, but
I'm not gonna give any presents. I'm competing for Honda. I've got a contract with Honda. They pay me very well now, so they demand victory.
That's completely fair. So yeah, looking at the second race and second qualifying, how do you think it'll go?
I don't know. I think maybe. I would be surprised if somebody could break into the 47s with his lap time. But I think the race will be a little bit closer. I think Jan will be a little bit further off the grid, so he can take the lead at the start. And I'm confident I can pass Jan out of on this track. But I think Jan will take the lead in the second race, and then we what happened then. It will be a big train behind Jan in the first laps, I think.
As it's been in a few rounds, Silverstone especially, I remember him leading for quite a while, Holton Park as well. So yeah, I think anything else you want to add, or do you prefer to jump into the car and do a few more laps?
No. We are voting to go to qualifying right now. I think maybe Richard Coxon is not present at that moment. I don't know, as an admin, you know. No?
Possibly
we
not.
have a little bit of a break. We have a little bit of a break, I think, and then we go to qualifying, maybe. I don't know his plan, you know. He's not here. I don't see him.
Well, it's usually there's usually a
He's
bit
in
of
the
a break.
background. He's in a bit of a break. Yeah, normally.
Have you heard the news? Jan Kowalski says he's out of race 2. I'm not sure why. Maybe something happened.
Yeah, presumably
Oh,
then
exactly.
something must have happened outside of the race, and that's why he went off in the first one. That's very
Maybe.
unfortunate.
I don't hope it though.
Hopefully everything is okay, so it's nothing too serious.
Well, we will see. Maybe David will win the second race. David,
Sorry?
maybe you will win for BMW the second race.
No. Eve is much faster, so he's probably in the position to do well for BMW. And to be honest, I don't really want to force it. I mean, I'm just like guest driving today, so BMW probably says, let's placer pass for the championship. So yes, I'm just the higher guy. I'm, how they call it, second guy.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, it's been a long championship, a tough championship, but sort of good that it's over. But at the same time, it's a bit of a sad time as well, with this being the final race in the championship.
Yeah, well, I think people want to move on to other competitions again, and I think it was a very long season, especially if you have in mind that we have 2 races on an evening and not 1, and I think that's also pretty. At least, you know, if you do a night like this, you burn a lot of calories behind your computer, and that's good.
Indeed.
So, I did not go on to practice on my bicycle tonight. I just I knew I was burning enough fuel for my body tonight. So. And now I see a giant spider in the hook of my corner. I'm gonna
Oh dear me.
take the vacuum cleaner and I'm gonna get that spider now. See you in the second race, okay? After the
Yeah,
second race.
good luck in the second qualifying in the race, mate.
Good luck.
Yeah, bye bye.
Disclaimer, I also hate this.
So do I. I would have crashed if there was a spider hanging in front of me.
I've got one hanging up in the corner, but it's just rather, well, he's not really big that regard. He's just like skinnish nearly, and she's just eating the flies. So I'm letting her there right now, and she's never coming down anyway.
Well, as long as they stay in one place, then I suppose it's okay.
Yeah, I've got better things to do right BMW garage anyway, since I'm currently testing the tire wear, or testing tire pressures, which is the probably most important thing right now, since if they wear too early I'm gonna have a problem.
That is, I think that's a good idea, and with that I think we'll take a small break for a couple to 3 minutes before we head into qualifying, which will start in about a minute's time, but I will take 2 or 3 minutes break just to rest my voice a little bit, and when we're back we will be in qualifying 2. Welcome back to the BTCC 1996 Championship Finale, hosted by Historic Simracing organization, coming to you from Brands Hatch, Indy. A short layout of the Brands Hatch complex or venue, or however else you would like to call it. We are in the second qualifying session. As we can see, one of the BMWs having a bit of a moment going through Paddock Hill. Not entirely sure which of the three, but there you go. Second qualifying should probably be won by Peder Blom if he sets a similar time to what he did in the first one, but we'll see what happens. We can see a lot of guys running very wide coming through Paddock Hill, using all of the track and then some in some cases. That's probably the most spectacular track to see. Most spectacular corner to see these super touring cars fly through around Brands Hatch. Although I suppose that the old Dingle Dell corner would probably also rank as a very neat place to watch these cars go by. So we can see Peter Blom spinning off into the gravel, coming through paddock. As we can see, even with only 15 cars I believe now, since Jan Kowalski won't be able to make it for the second race, the track is pretty occupied, pretty hectic at the moment, with everyone trying to set their qualifying times. Also you can see one of the Audis, not sure which one, running very wide. We can see a lot of inside front wheels being locked going into Clark, which is partly due to these super touring cars not liking to brake and turn at the same time, and partly due to the somewhat awkward entry going into the braking zone with jumping over the curbs at 30s. Let's see if we can find out. Oh, actually, at the moment, David Jundt has blasted in a fantastic qualifying time here, a 47.9. Peter Blom said he didn't think anyone would be able to break into the 47, so that's a big surprise. Obviously David is on it at the moment, so he won't chat with us. for a while, but that is indeed very impressive, with him only driving the second ever race, I believe, with the Super Touring BMW, although he's driven a lot of rear-wheel drive cars. And clearly enjoying himself for the time being. Currently second is Grand Rideau, and third only for Peter Blom. So that's a bit surprising that he hasn't set a faster time yet, but we did see that he was in the gravel at paddock earlier. But here he comes to finish another lap, so let's see if he is able to improve. He does indeed. He goes to second on a 48.009, and we can see that it's very tight for the pole position here. With a what would that be? Just under. Let's see. Something. Yeah, about 16 thousandths of a second, covering the top three at the moment. And there comes Simracing back in, so that makes it 15 cars on the server, which is nice to see. When Peter Blom hurrying out of the pits, being a bit optimistic about the width of the pit exit. And currently on pole position in the Total Cup for privateers. As we can see that was Miroslav Havlik having a bit of a moment. But on pole position in the Total Cup is currently David Saber in the number 24 Mint Motorsport Cavalier yet again. So as it has been for most of the previous rounds, he is very fast in qualifying, but then struggles just a little bit in the races, but still doing a very good job. By the looks of things, the most interesting thing to watch for now is to see whether Peter Blom can improve into the 47s and take the pole position away from David Jundt. Because he certainly will want to have another pole position to his name. Here comes across the line, but I believe this would be his out lap. Oh, actually, that was a hot lap. Only 7/10 of his fastest lap so far. Sorry, 700ths of his fastest time so far. That's very impressive to be that consistent. Oh, and a big moment. This is Grand Rideau doing a good job in his debut drive for Renault. As he decides to back off and actually abort this run altogether. And here is Yves Placé, currently sitting 4th, as he breaks off his lap to head into the pits. Let's see, this is, I assume, Jan Tits. in the Audi A4 Quattro. Trying to improve his time if possible to start a bit further up the grid and take the lead off the line as Peter Blom was hinting towards. But Jan currently sitting in the same position he qualified in the first race, so not too bad. And as he comes across the line, no improvement, but oh, a big improvement for Peter Blom, doing a 47.8. You see David Jundt is out on track. Don't know whether this is a hot lap. It'll be a hot lap indeed. He does a 48.5, so he is going a bit quicker now. Let's follow on board for one more lap, see if he can improve further. Because with that rear wheel drive, even if he starts in second position, he should have a good opportunity in taking the lead of the race. And that'll be a very interesting situation to watch, to see whether he will be able to go up past or not. A bit sideways going through Clark. I don't think this will be quicker, but he's definitely trying to get the power down. So let's see what the lap time says. Unfortunately no improvement that time around, and it runs deep at paddock. Don't think this will be a fast lap time either. With 1 minute to go, so you'll get one more lap after this one. I believe Peter Blom is sitting in the pits. He's very happy with that 47.8. I believe that's another new PB. I think he was in the 47.9s earlier. I don't think Mick Chapman would be able to do another lap. And David Jundt is actually backing off to try and save the tires, possibly, to do another hot lap.
No, I don't have enough fuel, probably.
Ah, that's unfortunate. If that's the case, it's very likely that that Peter Blom will take another pole position. It looks like Grand Ridal wants to give it another try. So let's ride on board with him for this lap, see if he's able to improve. Well, it looks like a pretty good run going through paddock there. Nice late braking into Druids. Oh, running a little bit deep. Has to force the car to turn. He gets a very good run through Graham Hill. Looks like he guns deep at Surtees and Clarks, and that's it, unfortunately for him. Looked like a good lap up until that point. Let's see whether there's anyone else out on the track. David Jundt has made a mistake, so his lap is unfortunately null and void. I believe Ray Ridal has gotten up in the 5th position here in the dying bits of the qualifying session, so he's out qualified Jan Tits. But yeah, looks like pole in the Total Cup will be for David Saber, and yet again pole position is Peter Blom's in the overall. But he was forced to go very quick in that qualifying session by David Jundt. That was a very impressive time, David.
Yeah, I didn't think that would be possible in such a short time with the setup that I'm not sure if it's just I managed to throw the car in at the right spots, you know, more of driving technique than setting car up, but car didn't feel bad. It's always at each exit you need to be very careful because there's a short moment. If you just mash it, then the car's gonna spin out sideways, and if you just wait a little, then let power come, it does feel quite okay, the car, but probably with some setup work that I not really have, could be maybe a bit faster. I don't think I could have gotten there anyway. I was just trying my best here, and Starting second is probably already a great result, to be honest. And I think other
It
team
should be
drivers
indeed.
will say, how is he saying he's so good at? He's second, he's fastest of the team. But yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah, it is, and with that rear-wheel drive, it's not impossible that you'll jump into the lead on the start if you get a good run going.
Could be, but I'm currently dreading my. I'm not sure about the tire pressures. I upped the left side and hoping that makes as heat up less. But I'm not sure if I should go the other way and go off like less pressure and have less grip, so have less tire wear and less heat up of them. I'm just currently just showing that I'm not really that guy.
Well, it's a fine line to walk, that one. I suppose most of it actually comes from driving the car correctly as well, not only how you put the tire pressures and setup in general, but
Well, that's one thing. You got a what do I want to say? That's the thing about the car being tail happy or oversteery or not mashing the throttle at the exit of the turn, because that will add to the tire wear at the back and will also lead to front up, well, maybe front more if you understeer into a turn if you're too fast, but also at the exit if you're going too fast. So you kill two birds with one stone in the negative way. So that's what I have to look again. So I'm hoping with a bit more preparation that I had, the pace is gonna be coming in quickly. I'm not just finding the track. So I'm hoping to be up there for the top 5 again.
I think that's a nice, good goal to have, and hopefully you'll have a good race with a couple of good battles, maybe, if you get a good start.
Yeah, I'm hoping the same. Not just like taking lead, just getting out of trouble. I mean, with rear I just can power away and hope going first into the turn and probably evade stuff happening in midfield.
Indeed. So yeah, with that, let's see, we have 2 minutes 20 to go until the race is about to go underway. But yeah, looking at the previous race, it'll be difficult to not say that Peter Blom will take another win, but anything can happen in racing, and Jundt proved that he had early pace, and David Jundt has proven in this qualifying at least that he has pace, and Yves Placer, we saw in the first race that he has some pretty good pace in his BMW as well, and obviously Grant Ridal and Ray Ridal has gotten the Renaults to work pretty well around here, so there are a few that can be up there to maybe be in with a chance if the luck falls their way as such, but we'll see in a few minutes time, I suppose. So let's see, we should just about be ready to head into not qualifying, the race. So I'm just having a small look on the forums. As we can see, one of the BMWs, not sure which one we're riding on board with, but having a bit of a kangaroo moment heading into the pits.
Difficult to set up the car, especially as the tire pressure right now. I'm not really sure if I divided the tire pressure really well.
Attention grid, all non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
Seems like the right side is taking a lot of time to heat up, while the left side does a lot earlier. So I'm not sure if I got it right this time.
As I said earlier, it's a difficult difficult line to walk on and get right, but hopefully you'll have a good start, and later on in the race we may even have a moment to talk with you, but we'll see then. But for now, the formation lap gets underway here. And Peter Blom again took pole with another track record, I believe, around this layout of Brands Hatch. Second for David Jundt, which, as he has said himself, he's very happy with. Third for Grant Ridol in the Renault, and fourth for Åcerclinth in the second BMW. So BMW having a good round here. Fifth for Ray Ridol, so he is having a very good round here, alongside his son. And sixth for Jundt, so he's having a bit of a lackluster qualifying round as Leeds, but he finished second, so in the first race I think he is happy with that. Miroslav Havlik qualified 7th with Richard Wilkes 8th, 9th for Matthias Weber with 10th for Philippe Martinelli, 11th and first in total cut for David Saber, 12th for Juha Boss, 13th for Mick Chapman, 14th for Eivind Andersen, 14th for Simon Wattman, and it looks like that is everyone. Did I do something wrong? Yeah, sorry, my apologies, but at least 15 cars are on the grid, and that's all that matters really. So let's sit on board with Ray Ridal. We see 4 red lights, and the lights is green, and away we go. And David Jundt has a good start here, heading up into the lead, and Yves Placé is trying to follow him through past. Oh, I think there's contact. Oh, but Peter Blom backed out of it and allowed Yves Placé to go by, so Yves Placé is in second position. Jundt sideways. Yves Placé goes sideways on the exit and loses some positions, but everyone survived turn 1 and 2 on the opening lap, and Yves Placé's Jundt right behind him now, with Grant Ridol sitting just a little bit further behind, losing 1 position to Jundt. Let's see what happens here, because this should open up for some pretty heated battles right here. It'll be interesting to see whether David can hold Peter off, or if Peter will catch up, or what will happen. Yves Placé looks to be running deep at paddock hill, but got the car turned in pretty well. Jundt on the other hand turned in early and ran very wide. Grant Ridal tries to sell him a bit of a dummy there. And Richard Wilkes is up a few positions as well, so he's had a good start. Miroslav Havlik is the one who's fallen back the most off the start, alongside Philippe Martinelli. But it looks like everyone has had more or less clean starts. At least no major damages to anyone. Whereas Havlik gave Juha Boss, I believe, at least a little bit of a nudge going through Clark Curve. But everyone's surviving so far, which is really nice to see. But Peter Blom is right behind David Jundt now, so he has caught up in the space of just under 2 laps. So it'll be interesting to see now whether David can hold on to the lead or what will happen here. Because this is a long race. when Jundt hits a stop back, so he is under pressure from, I believe that would be Grand Vidal. Peter Blom tries to show himself in the mirror of David Jundt, trying to unnerve him and force him into a small mistake, and it looks like he may have done a half one. Peter Blom looks up the inside, but David moves to the inside going into Druids and tells him, that ain't happening. A bit of a loose exit for Jundt coming out the Druids, but still holds on to the lead going into Graham Hill. So this is a neat, tight little battle where Richard Wilkes looks to be getting by Ron Vidal in the background. But we'll stay with this because this is for the lead. Do it like this. Yep, so Grand Vidal has lost out to Richard Wilkes. Matthias Weber is keeping up. In the total cup, we'll look at it like this for now. Looks like Øyvind Andersen is again in the lead. And Peter Blom had a bit of a look up the inside, but backed out of it. Decided it was not on. When he gets really close on the exit there. Look at that for a camera shot. I wouldn't put it past Peter to shove his car up the inside into Clark Curve a la Joachim Winkelhock on David Leslie as of 1993, I believe that was.
Too bad I have big clock.
Indeed. Well, to be fair, it is David Leslie's car you have behind you, I think, so...
He first rose.
Or maybe... Could be James Kay's Honda as well, I'm not entirely sure. I think David Leslie was the #1 driver actually, so that's James Kay's Honda. Anyway, the battle is definitely on here. Right, the looks of things. Peter shadowing David, showing himself in the mirrors here and there, trying to force David into a mistake, but no mistake as of yet. David actually gets a good exit there, so he pulls away a little bit from Peter, going down towards Surtees. Peter had a bit of an understeer on the brake in there and loses out a bit more. So maybe Yves Placer can put Peter under pressure now and give David a bit of an opportunity to pull away again. We'll see. We'll have a quick look down the grid a little bit. Miroslav Havlik is off the road here, looking to have a bit of connection issues or something about it. Pulls off into the gravel. I think he may be out here. It's difficult to say, but David Saber and Simon Watman in a small little battle here. Lick Martinelli and Johan Boos in a bit of a battle, but Øyvind Andersen still in the lead there. And looking further up the grid for the lead battle once again. Looks like David has to go defensive going into turn 1. Peter Blom tries to look for the cutback, I believe. Yes, he does. David tries to hold the inside line. That's just about not an overlap by the looks of things, but that was very, very close indeed. A bit of a notch as well, but David was able to hold it, so all is good and well. But this invites Yves Placer to close up as well, so this is definitely a three-way fight for the lead now, which is very nice to see. Clearly Yves is very quick in Clark Curve, but the exit and the straight is definitely the Honda's powerful area. Looks like again David has just a little bit of a gap. Even if a gap is only about the car lengths, it's still a gap. Peter looks like he had a small look up the inside going into Parakill, but wasn't quite close enough. We've also seen earlier in the season that Peter won't put on too a dangerous move. He will wait until an opportunity arises and then go for the move. Oh, we can see Placer getting a bit squirrely going through Clark there. He took a bit too much on the inside, but they are all three of them are pulling away from Jundt, who's fourth, with Grant Riddle in fifth, Ray Riddle sixth, seventh for Richard Wilkes, eighth for Matthias Weber, ninth for Johan Boos, and 10th for Eivind Andersen, and he is leading the Total Cup. There's a bit of a gap to Wattman and Saber behind him. Then it's Philippe Martinelli and others, but looks like Miroslav Havlik is indeed out of the race.
Grant Riddle too.
Oh dearie me, what has happened here? Oh, don't tell me he went off at turn 1 again. Oh, he did! He went off in this... This is a carbon copy to what happened in the first race. Almost a complete carbon copy. Oh, that's very unfortunate. Well, he was on for a good couple of finishes, but it is easy to make a mistake around here. As we can see again, Peter Blom gets up really close on the braking for Druids. But there's still a bit of a gap for David Jundt at the moment. And I believe this is, apart from the battle between the two Mint Motorsport boys, the closest battle on track. Peter again having a small look up thinking about going up the inside at Druids, but David still able to hold on. And his Placers dropped back just a little bit, so either he's worked the tires a bit too hard, or he's just biding his time a little bit and waiting for the breadcrumbs to fall. Or as David Jundt goes wide at Clark, but I think he'll get a good exit though. Definitely looks like he had a good exit, even with running a little bit wide. But so far David is doing a very good job holding on to the lead. That is indeed now the closest fight on the circuit. Eivind Andersen is being closed in on by the Mint boys, so that could be a battle to watch in a few laps time as well. But for now, let's... Oh, actually, Mick Chapman had a bit of an opportunity to go by Philippe Martinelli then, so let's just take a bit of a moment to watch this and get back to the battle for the lead again. It's good to see that even with fewer cars on the track, there's still battles going on for most of the guys, at least one battle per race for everyone. And that is all you should really be able to clearly ask for. It looks like that has broke up, while David Jundt is sideways going into paddock hill. He takes the inside line though and defends the inside here. Let's see if he can hold it around the inside and get a good exit and pull away from. Oh dear me, a bit of side-by-side contact there. But both of them survive once again. A bad exit for Peter Blom coming out of Clark Curve that time around. He got more understeer than he was expecting, I think, because I heard him change gear one more time. You can see again Peter Blom being very close going into Paddock Hill, but he isn't quite able to get a good run through there. Nils Placé in the meantime still sitting third. He's the longest standing member of HSO who still races, I believe. He's one of the first joinees of HSO back in 2006. Oh, Peter Blom! Peter Blom went on the grass on the braking, I believe. He lost out a lot of time right there. Let's see if we can see that on the replay. So he goes through Surtees left, Surtees right, brakes. No, he wasn't on the grass, he just lost the rear end. Wow. So that gives David a bit of time to breathe. I think will be a good thing for him. Maybe even give him a bit of an opportunity to rest the tires a little bit. Looks like Peter isn't quite as used to running behind someone else, because that's technically the second mistake I've seen him do in this race. Oh, he's up on two wheels, he's off the road, and he loses second position to Yves Placé. So it's 1-2 for BMW now with Honda third. Wow, that's a development. It'll be interesting to see whether David wants to take the win, or if he'll let Yves Placé go if they are still 1-2 by the time the last lap commences. But that's a big development. We're over halfway already. So could this be that Peter Blom has used up too much of his time? Oh, Peter Blom is off again somewhere. Where is Peter Blom? Is he out? No, sorry, I just didn't see him. He is still sitting in third. My apologies. Oh, but Ray Riddell has some heavy damage to his car. Not sure what will happen, but it was a while ago. And here's Matthias Weber for company now. And actually, Simon Wattman has climbed up into the lead of the Total Cup, with Øyvind Andersen second. And David Saber must have made a mistake, because he's down to 4th and last running at the moment. No, sorry, not last running. Richard Wilkes has had a bit of a moment somewhere. So presumably Richard Wilkes and Ray Riddell had a moment together. We can see David Saber having a bit of trouble braking for Clark Curve, so he is struggling with that car, while Simon Wattman is having a good evening's run here, even though he finished a bit further down in the first race. His run was good, and he's continuing it here. Let's see, up at the front, David Jundt still holds a big lead to Yves Placer now, and Peter Blom trying to regain the time he's lost. Then there's a big gap down to 4th, and Jan Titz, who comes here. And then there's another big gap to 5th, which I believe will be Matthias Weber, so Ray Dahl has gone off somewhere. He must have done. Peter Blom has a bit of a moment again. Ray Dahl must have gone off at turn 1. No, actually earlier than that, so presumably down at 30s maybe. Juha Bo sits in 7th still, and 8th and lead in the Total Cup for Simon Wattman, 9th. And second in Total Cup for Øyvind Andersen, and Philippe Martinelli is sitting in the top 10 at the moment, so he'll be happy with that, I'm sure. The only bad thing with Peter Blom having those mistakes, making those mistakes, is that battle was broken up, but I think David will be happy with having a bit of a gap behind him and not having Honda right up his bumper anymore. But a bit further down we have the battle between Øyvind Andersen, Philippe Martinelli and Mick Chapman going on for 9th, 10th and 11th in this race. As Philippe Martinelli closes up on Øyvind Andersen going into Graham Hill, but not able to get up the inside. Sitting right behind him here, but I don't think he'll want to go for the move in 30s, he'll wait for Clark. There he goes, up the inside, but he backs out of it, realizes that Øyvind will take the apex. It was good awareness from Philippe not to put his front on inside there. He is a very fair and good driver to race with, so I would expect nothing less from him. But here he goes, looking up the inside, going into Druids. But again, he is not quite close enough.
Well, I think he has one.
A bit of contact there between Martinelli and Chapman, my apologies. Philippe Martinelli has lost his rear wing, unfortunately. Hopefully he realizes that, Mick Chapman's mistake, and he flashed sorry for it. Let's see. There is Yves Placer, so whatever happened? He had a spin. What? Let's see, going into Druids he went in a bit too hot and then put the power on, I'd assume just a bit too much. And that was enough for him to spin and lose, unfortunately, 2 positions with that. But he does a good job of keeping up out of Jan Titz's way, and away he go again. And still David has a big gap to Peter Blom, so unless he makes a mistake, I think he may very well... as we have a big crash up ahead. That was Philippe Martinelli, I'd assume that was because he lost his rear wing. Peter Blom! Peter Blom has hit... Whatever happened here? Peter Blom has lost his front bumper and everything. Let's see if we can get it on the replay. Here we go, going into 30s. Oh, Philippe. I believe that's a lot of damage for Peter indeed, as Matthias Weber has a spin coming out of Clark Curve. Let's see if we can see what happened here, and then we'll try to catch whatever happened to Philippe ahead. Yeah, Matthias Weber just hit the grass there. Let's go back to Philippe Martinelli if we can. There we are. Let's quickly drop back. My apologies for being a bit unprofessional rewinding replay here, but I just want to know what happened to him in the first place. We went up the inside of David Saber and hit the curb, and without his rear wing he span. Then he was somewhat collected. Let's quickly see. Sorry David, go ahead.
David Saber off 2 wheels, 1.
That's a lot of damage there for Peter Blom. Let's see, David Saber, you said. There he is. Oh yeah, he almost did what Ron Vidal did earlier in this race. He was able to hold it though, very neatly done. Able to even avoid the barriers. Oh, but he's off again. This time at Clark Curve. So he's definitely struggling with his Cavalier around here, as Jan Titz has gotten up into 3rd, I believe that will be. Oh, sorry, 2nd maybe. No, okay, that's Philippe Martinelli ahead of Peter Blom. Was Peter Blom runs wide at Parakill, losing a bit more time to Jan Titz behind. And then we have his Place obviously, so he may still get a podium finish here if Peter Blom loses enough time. As we have 5 laps to go at the end of this one, I believe. And Ray Ridal is still holding off Matthias Weber, doing a good job with his damaged car. And Simon Wattman still in the lead in Total Cup, sitting in 9th, I believe. And 10th for Ivan Andersson in that Toyota Carina. Sorry, 9th for Ivan Andersson, so 10th for Richard Wilkes right now, and he sits as a bit of a buffer to anyone behind David Jundt here, so teammates everywhere for David Jundt in this race. But let's see, here comes Jan Titz looking up the inside of Peter Blom going into Graham Hill, and he gets an overlap coming out. But that Honda is very quick in a straight line, even with all that damage, so it'll be a difficult pass to put on for Jan here. But he may get an opportunity going down, coming down after Parakill, if he gets a good run through. Peter knows it and takes it very gingerly into there, but he runs deep at Druids, and that's enough for for Jan Titz to slip by. That's Jan Titz up into 2nd place in this race. Oh, and that is David Saber with another moment, going up in 2 wheels, coming through Graham Hill. But Matthias Weber has gotten by Ray Ridal. Ray Ridal, with the amount of time he's lost, he must have been off somewhere, possibly a spin maybe, with that lack of a rear wing. But David Jundt may actually win on debut in the BMW team. How is it going so far?
Getting difficult, just letting my teammate through, maybe even Chapman, since I don't want to go deep anywhere, being like felt a bit pushy from behind when my teammate wants to catch Oliver Anderson for P9. I'd rather
Okay.
keep out of it and not spin, because 10 seconds is a lot right now.
It is indeed, and I think that's a good call. So David Jundt, as he says, enjoys a 10-second lead, with Peter Blom another 2 seconds behind, and then Yves Placé another 2 seconds behind Peter, and then it's 15. Make that 17 seconds back to Matthias Weber, so there is a big difference in who has had trouble and who has not. But it'll be interesting to see if Yves Placé can catch Peter Blom as well and score another podium here to cap off a fantastic evening for the BMW team. As we can see that Peter Blom struggles a lot with that car. Unfortunately, that is the incident that occurred is one of a unfortunate one, but one that can occur. Especially if I'm not saying whether it was right or wrong, but I believe Philippe may have misjudged how big of a gap he had. I've done so myself a couple of times when I've raced. I've misjudged how big a gap I've had to other cars, or how long it would take for someone to get to where I was, and have caused, or been close to cause incidents at times because of that. This is a very easy mistake to make, since you don't really have it unless you use a plug-in. You won't know where on track someone is. But here Peter Blom runs wide at Paddock Hill, and here comes Yves Placé up into third. So up onto the podium goes Yves Placé, and Peter Blom drops down to fourth. So this isn't quite how Peter wanted to cap off the season, but still a top 5 is a good finish, and I think he'll finish in fourth unless he has another incident somewhere. As Philippe Martinelli gets out of the way of Matthias Weber, and Matthias flashes thank you to Philippe for moving out of his way, which is nice to see. And actually Simon Wattman and Johan Boss is in a bit of a small battle here, which we can watch for. Actually this is the finish. So David Jundt has taken the win in this race, which is a fantastic result for him. Second for Jan Titz, third for Yves Placé, so he got it on the final lap. Fourth for Peter Blom, fifth for Matthias Weber, sixth for Ray Riddell, seventh will be Johan Boss, just ahead of Simon Wattman, who will take a win in the final race of the championship in the Total Cup, so he'll be happy with that. And ninth for Eivind Andersen, 10th for Richard Wilkes, 11th for Mick Chapman, 12th for David Saber, 13th for Philippe Martinelli, and he was the last of our running finishers, with Grant Riddell and Miroslav Havlik retiring from this race. As we can see, a bit of a kerfuffle there with David Jundt trying to do some celebratory donuts, which is well deserved. That was a very good win. Congratulations, David.
I want to thank BMW Schnitzel so much for this great result in this race, and I could say the trust that has been put into me for this car. And at the same time, I would like to thank Peter Blom very much for also Yves Placé, because he was also there and following closely. I want to thank them for an awesome battle towards the end of the season, where I don't know, I feel like it's a bit surprising, and I don't want to like take away that I just clicked on this race. I put my lines in, got it together, and I just my concentration down, and so I'm very happy that I've managed to bring up BMW this win. And once again, I would like to thank my rivals this race, and Yves and everyone else, because it was a great race. I was just a bit sorry for when we got into that incident with Martinelli, where I saw just him spinning out the way and Wicks on the right side, and sadly it looks like so couldn't get past him, and there was contact. So
Hey, he was in the middle of the road.
sadly, fuck.
I'm gonna complain.
So sorry for you.
Him. You did a very good job, David. First of all, very. Every lap you did a qualifying lap, and Yves Placet behind us as well. Every lap we were doing a low 48s, like in qualifying.
True, but it was very hard because picking and turning apex line for the first turn kind of made the lap, and it was very difficult all laps because everyone at the front made no mistakes. So it was really a nail to.
Yeah, I told you you could win this race, but you didn't believe me.
Well, I didn't think that half the rhythm and the consistency this time, and the car not right there, and some things like I feel like the key setting that was not up there. I mean, probably not perfectly matched, but it looked like it was so terrible that I could still make it happen. But I wanna say I was shocked. I just kept my concentration up to take the win. Didn't really do much more, I think, because once you had been through, I would probably have never seen you again. The Bloom train.
Yeah. Yeah, you did very good, very good. I was waiting for a mistake from you, but I made the first mistake, and after that I was behind Yves, and Yves was very fast as well. And then suddenly Martinelli did a spin on the track, he just in front of me, and he should have waited. And that ruined my race, and I lost my front spoiler, and I had very much understeer, so I lost third and fourth position last couple of laps. But it was a fun race, and David did a very good job. And indeed, it's very good for BMW to take the win finally.
It's good,
Yeah.
good. It was really good to see the BMW finally take a win in the race, and also great to see Yves Placet getting a double podium in this final race of the final round of the championship.
I think Martinelli attacked with one of the cars ahead. I'm not sure if Chapman and Oyvind or Anderson or somebody, but I think he made a mistake and then spun around, and I just saw like smoke and made the right decision to go right left on Richard, but I don't know. I'm cocky again. I know myself. I'm not always, but David Jundt often has some incredible luck when dodging some accidents, and this time
Well,
it happened at the right moment.
I remember Imola in the F191 championship. That race is actually available to watch on our YouTube channel. But there you had a bit of luck as well, getting through the opening kerfuffle, if I remember correctly. But yeah, that was a very unfortunate way to end the season, Peter, but at least you had a good battle up until that incident.
Yeah, and I think before I hit Martinelli, David already had the race won because I made a mistake, and I was not able to catch like 3-4 seconds because he was too fast. So not because of Martinelli, David just won the race because he was the best the second race.
That's very courteous of you to say that.
And he did a 47 in qualifying as well.
Yeah, he did indeed. I was commenting on that at the time that you said you didn't think anyone would get into the 47s apart from you. So
I didn't expect it, no, but he did, and his pace in the race, and that's. I know the BMW can with the rear wheel drive, they can make a slightly better starts because I saw Yves Placet doing that as well a couple of races back. But he, David was superb. Nothing.
Well, to be honest, I just wanted to say that I'm absolutely to say this, but obviously on stream I want to say congrats to Peter Blom for the BTCC championship, and I I kind of got a taste of seeing why, because when I looked down at my timer thingy, I saw there was first a 48.0 and 47.9, and I thought, yep, that's the champion right there. Just now my factor just lol.
I think mine as well. But yeah, that's you've proven the whole season that you've been the class of the field, Peter. So again, congratulations on the championship, and also congratulations to Dave Simmons for winning the Total Cup Championship for privateers. And to reiterate, that championship was for drivers who had 5 or less wins at the HSO all time. So that was a nice way to put that championship up, I think, giving those with less experience or maybe less speed in some cases a chance to fight for actual race wins.
I think it's very hard to win races at HSO because there are so many good drivers. You can also see that at the IndyCar 88 Championship, you know, so many great drivers. It's just I think it's very hard for me to win races in IndyCar because some people have very good setups, I think, and they are more consistent than me. But at BTCC, you know, I'm slightly better with slower mods, and I think touring car is good to me. But I think it will be quite some time before I win again a race at HSO. So I enjoyed tonight, my last win, I think. I'm not expecting to win very much in IndyCar.
Well, I remember when you first entered HSO, at least the first time I saw you race, that was at the Nürburgring with the TCL mod. And we had a bit of a battle. I was in the 635, I think, and you were driving the Mercedes.
Yes.
And that was that was proof to me that if you can battle me well and get past me, then you're a good touring car driver at least.
Was that the Nordschleife or the regular?
No, I think there was the short version of Nürburgring or the Grand Prix for the DTM 88 Championship, if I'm not misremembering.
88, yeah. There were some very good drivers, and
yeah, indeed. I think we were battling for 14th and 15th or something like that at the time.
I've seen my teammate coming up with, just before it went. I have coming out and telling me I should have morphed the season. Why didn't I do it? Well, I've had some time constraints and focused on some other stuff to come back now at last round. But I also have to say, the reason that I just looked like I'm all right there again in the top 5 or the pace for it is that rear-wheel drive is usually my thing. I'm not really front wheeler, and in touring cars it is not such a big stretch or an abstract thing to have a base setup that at least makes the car drivable in its way on, for my part, nearly every track. So even with the default setups, able to find a rhythm with the car quite easily. I would say getting a setup on a 91 Formula 1 car, which is quite an abstract thing to do, and I'm having myself big respects from people like Mick Chapman, David Jakes and such. And then going to an 8 Indy car which has ground effects and all this, which is even more things you have to take into consideration with many different tracks, to be honest. Ovals, road courses, even now coming up with an airport race, which is quite a bit more difficult to get it right than with a touring car, I would say so. At least to me, that's why I think I was quite easily back there fighting. Otherwise, I would probably said with my last race at Tika, or better said, me not appearing, you could see that it would much longer to get back in a groove there because the car's quite a lot more difficult to drive. So also a bit of a it's part of why I was getting fast with the car quite easily, or quite quickly this time.
Yeah, that's a fair call, but there are a lot of championships in both F1 91 and Kart 88 to get to grips with the cars, and hopefully we'll see another championship with with these super touring cars, and hopefully that time around I'll be able to drive them and not just sit in the broadcast booth. But anyway, I think with that we'll cap off the broadcast. So thank you very much, David and Peter, for joining me in the broadcast booth for the races and mid-race and post-race chat. And again, congratulations to Peter Blom and Dave Simmons, our BTCC 1996 champions in the overall and total cup respectively. And thank you very much for tuning in, and I hope you tune in to the next one. I believe the next race will broadcast will be in 2 weeks time at Cleveland on Sunday. Broadcast will start at 20:30, same time as tonight. But until then, take care and have fun.
Goodbye, guys.
Thank you for broadcasting, Jonatan, for all your efforts this season.
Thank you very much.
Bye bye.
Straight. Take care and have fun.
Goodbye, guys.
Thank you for broadcasting, Jonatan, for all your efforts this season.
Thank you very much.
Bye bye.